Thank you. So, hey, before I start talking, I want to quickly introduce the gentlemen who are joining me on stage. Zach Honadel, who's from Prisms, Kratchman from Verti, Mickael Nadeau from XPR Labs. We're going to talk a little bit more with them here in a moment. I'm going to speak here first for a few minutes about PICO. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to come by our booth today and try out some of our headsets, our great content, and also just had a chance to work with PICO over the last few years. Quick introduction, as you just heard, my name is Amir Khorram. I'm the charming spokesperson for PICO. I'm also the general manager for North America. I lead our team, which focuses predominantly on the enterprise. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on PICO, if you know or do not know about the company, and then we'll kind of tie that into some of the discussions we're going to have at the end of this session. But PICO as a brand story, right? PICO has always focused on the enterprise. And if you've had a chance to see us at conferences, you've had a chance to meet us at workshops, you've had a chance to collaborate with many of our amazing team members that we have here in Long Beach this week, you'll know that enterprise has always been the priority for PICO. And that's why we've always seen this as an opportunity to come out and showcase our partners and who they are and what they're doing and how they're growing within the PICO ecosystem. So talking about our history, PICO has actually been around for almost a decade, focused predominantly on enterprise use cases, whether that's education, healthcare, corporate training, a wide variety of use cases in the enterprise. And if you see here, you'll see kind of a history of the PICO headsets. I actually noticed out on the showroom floor, there's a XR museum, and I'm actually anxious to go check it out and see how many headsets from the PICO side might actually be on there. But you'll see all the way from the early Neo developer kits through the Neo 3 series, which a lot of people are still using today, the G2 4K, which is actually one of our more popular headsets globally, a 3DOF headset that's utilized quite a bit in education and healthcare, all the way fast forward to today where we have the PICO 4 Enterprise on display at our headset with some amazing partners doing some amazing things with the technology. So I urge you guys, if you have a few minutes later on in the day, stop by our booth, check out the PICO 4, and check out some of the great content we have on display. This slide to me, I think, really represents a lot of things. This to me is our solar system, the PICO ecosystem, and how we've been able to grow and succeed and scale over the last few years. I'll kind of release the secret recipe here. There's not any kind of secret to how we've grown and succeeded. There isn't any blank check you can write. There isn't any sort of money that you can spend more of to accomplish some of the things that we've accomplished. How we do it is through relationships and key partners and key strategies that we put in place with these people. Talking about, hey, we're really interested in education, or hey, we're really interested in healthcare. That's one thing, but actually going and doing it and developing with these amazing partners is really what's enabled us to execute so much going forward. And what I think is really cool about this slide is it kind of almost represents how our booth and our partners are all set up on the showroom floor. We have our hardware support and technical services that we offer across the globe. We have our software and development tools, our SDKs, and our partners. But if you look at this and you actually come visit us in the conference, you'll see actually all around the PICO booth is strategic partners: Ultraleap, Manage XR, Arbor XR, Cognitive 3D, Transfer VR. I mean, you name it. We have all these partners kind of in and around the showroom floor, very much kind of like this diagram here. It kind of represents truly how we try to be the core and the glue that connects all of these pieces together and helps them grow and succeed. So talking about what's on the market today, right? This is more of kind of a sales and marketing slide, but I'm all for it. We can have it up here today. So these are the three products that we have available globally. The G3, as I mentioned, is our 3DOF headset, Qualcomm XR2 chipset. The Neo 3, I like to call it our workhorse HMD. It's been on the market for quite a while and does some amazing things in some really important use cases in the enterprise. And our latest, our PICO 4 Enterprise, that has built-in eye tracking, hand tracking, a great pass-through camera, auto IPD, body tracking capabilities. There's a lot of really cool functionality in the PICO 4e, and we're excited to have it on the market today. So, oops, jumped ahead there. So talking about our software and our platform, we're continuing to develop and evolve our software and our services for PICO. So our business suite, it allows for a lot of key features that enterprise users need, whether it's syncing, streaming, kiosk mode, right? Controlling that experience where there might be multiple users using a headset in the same environment. Our LBE solutions. LBE has always been, I think, in the forefront in the early days of XR development, and we continue to work and develop solutions for LBE partners. And our dedicated operating system, right? With an app store, feature screen, docking capabilities, all those sorts of things. PICO SDK. So we pride ourselves on our flexibility and our accessibility for developers. So we're OpenXR compliant. We have amazing set of tools and developer resources for people to bring their content to PICO or to build their content from scratch from PICO. I like to joke that if you don't have the cell phone numbers or WhatsApp numbers of every single PICO employee in North America, I'd be shocked because we're extremely accessible. I feel like everyone on earth right now has my cell phone, my sales team cell phones, my technical team cell phones. That's because you can reach us. We're not a nameless, faceless inbox for you to lob a question in and hope you get an answer back in the next 3 to 5 business days. You can usually reach out to us and hear back from us within the same day, sometimes within a few hours. And that's the level of support that you get when you work with PICO, is we truly treat our partners like family because your success and our success is vice versa. Partnerships. We've got a great and developing marketing program that we have with PICO. So we love to go to events and cross-promote and cross-sell with our partners, sharing stories, providing support around the clock, and really just that multi-channel, direct and indirect relationship management that we find here. And so what I wanted to do is kind of rolling in from talking about PICO and just kind of at its core, really high-level stuff. And I would say, again, if you want to talk more about how your content, your solution, your tech can work with PICO, come stop by the booth, come talk to us. Be happy to have those conversations face-to-face. But what I wanted to do was spend a few minutes highlighting some of our partners here on stage with us today. So we've got, let's start with Prisms, right? So we've got our friends here from Prisms, and if you guys don't know who Prisms is leading the way with XR in the classroom. They are developing and have deployed some amazing solutions, providing STEM curriculum in the classroom for a wide range of ages. And I wanted to just ask you maybe to talk a little bit about how you've been working with PICO and how your team has kind of developed over the last year or 2 years.
Sure. So I'm Zach. Nice to meet everybody. I'm more on the customer-facing side. So typically what I'll do, and I have the utmost confidence in PICO, is through the 200-plus deployments that we do have, it has seemed to work the best. Going through the tech review process, PICO is always there if we have questions or if our customers or potential customers do have questions. They're always quick to answer. And then something that I've really appreciated is, so we typically, in the West Coast, I'm on the West Coast, work with Jeff, and he's been to several different trainings where he actually gets to see educators interact with the PICO headset and taking down feedback and trying to make this the best possible device for K-12 deployments.
Yeah, appreciate that, Zach. You guys, again, have been kind of leading the way in this space, and oftentimes, schools are probably looking at VR for the first time, right? It's probably an initial like, hey, we think we need this, we know we need this, we need to stay ahead in tech. How are you guys, and you're on the forefront talking to these schools, what is that conversation like usually? Like what is the aha moment for schools when they're like, okay, I understand what Prisms can bring to our classroom?
Yeah, so I think most of the IT teams that we talk to have been like, they think every VR headset is just consumer related. That's been their only experience. So I think the aha moment comes on when we talk about our experience with other deployments, as well as how the PICO works side by side with an MDM, and how that's like usually when the aha comes on, like, oh, we can lock these devices down and manage them and update them through MDM.
Right. Security, consistency, all go hand in hand with the curriculum, right? The curriculum part is important, but it's like, how are we controlling that experience to make sure kids aren't maybe veering off into things, outside of the classroom?
Yeah, if we don't check that box, like they're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one thing I'll say with Prisms is extremely impressive is the end user customer experience trumps all. It's really the most important thing to them, that the demand is just through the roof for their solution. but they don't push forward and push ahead with the next opportunity until they've perfected their deployment of the day or of the week or of the month. And it's super impressive. We're extremely lucky to be working with you guys, and we're excited for what's ahead in our collaboration together. So
We are too.
Zach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Let's move on to Verti here. So we've got Kratchman, who's the CEO of Verti, and we've got to know each other over the last year. You guys have brought to the table some really innovative and exciting projects, and maybe you can just spend a couple of minutes here talking about the Verti solution and how that's overlapped into what we're providing from the PICO side.
Yeah, thanks, Amir. Hi, everyone. My name is Kratchman, and as the CEO of Verti, what we have done is built an enterprise immersive training platform. And what that means is we focus on large deployments where our customers need to build custom content that they can't use anything off the shelf. They can't use an agency or a third party. They have very specialized needs, private, secure, and oftentimes quite complex. We work in healthcare, education, a lot of government, and a lot of corporate training. And it's designed to remove the friction from the XR content creation process. And so we've built two parts to the platform. One is a 360 video or interactive immersive video side of the platform. And the other side is a Gen AI avatar platform that you can gin up a conversation in 20 languages in about 10 minutes and just build your use case. And then you can combine that to build scenario-based learning. So oftentimes our customers need a very hyper-realistic experience, which is what the 360 video does. And then they need to practice soft skills through conversation, which is what the avatars provide, and then all the analytics that go with it. Our platform's designed to work with enterprise headsets, and our collaboration with PICO has been so important is because our customers now have scaled up to 20,000 end users and more, and when they start to make investments in headsets, it's actually, technology is an important part, but so is security, so is compliance and privacy, but also the whole enterprise relationship. And I think that's what I've learned to value most about PICO, is sort of ties back to what Amir was saying about the relationships and the passion and the culture of the people. I had the pleasure to meet Henry Zhao a couple weeks ago in New York, and it's the only CEO that's flown in to sort of see us and be curious about our platform at a global level and offer insights about their product roadmap that aligns with some of our development where we can actually help our customers in more meaningful ways. And I think having that kind of relationship in the ecosystem is, well, it should be obvious and necessary, but that's what helps move the whole industry forward.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, Kurt. And you guys are so innovative in the stuff that you're working on, both current and future tech. What are you seeing, and I'm maybe kind of catching you off guard with this question, but what are you seeing in kind of the buying behaviors or even just the needs of the enterprise training space, right? Currently, through the next couple of years, like how is that evolving in your eyes?
We have a couple themes.
And I didn't prep him for this question.
No, it's okay.
So I'm catching you off guard.
I will say that there's three themes that I'll speak to.
Sure.
One, we have a large portion of our customer base that is research and then scale. Research is obvious. People want to test things. They want to iterate. They want to build. They want to prototype. But we actually have really interesting research partners like the National Institutes of Health, who's doing really important research using our platform. Then we have other customers like Amazon, who bring the same methodology and rigor to how the technology will influence their workforce. And their largest pain point is attrition, turnover.
Right.
And to have a solution that can address and help retain employees, but help to upskill and level and deal with difficult conversations that sometimes supervisors and associates have at such scale, it's a sociology experiment. And to do that around the world in real time, there's very few platforms that can actually support that kind of research to execution to scale. Yeah. And so we do a lot of crawl, walk, run with our customers, and that's a very natural approach to business. When I first started, I had a lot of customers coming to us confused and not knowing where to start, and headsets and content, and metaverse versus VR versus this, that, and the other.
How
And
do you connect it all together?
yeah, and now it's like, okay, they're sort of battle tested. They sort of are clear about what they want, and now it's much more business focused and planning forward. And we've been fortunate because even in this last year, I mean, we don't have a ton of customers, but almost every one of them has renewed for multi-year contracts. Yeah. That just allows us to plan more effectively with them in the future. And I think that kind of stability allows the whole industry to sort of mature and level up.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate that. And next, I'd like to go to Mickael Nadeau, who's our friend here from Canada and CEO of XPR Labs, who's working on some really exciting stuff in the fitness and health space. You guys have developed a lot of different great content in the past, but there's some really cool stuff you're focused on now. So if you wouldn't mind sharing with them a little bit about what you're working on today.
Absolutely, and just for fun, please raise your hand if you remember who Billy Blanks, the fitness trainer that was on TV is. Remember him, right? So, this started about 40 years ago, and I was afraid it was getting lost. So I thought this training was awesome, we need to bring it back. We need to meet kids on the screen where they're doing just like I did in IT, getting unhealthy, and we need to bring back Tybo and get them in shape. So we started working with schools as well, but also realized very quickly working with PICO that this would be a great solution for enterprise as well that are looking to reduce their insurance costs, get happy and productive employees, and so on. So we developed a whole offering on that side. But here's the intimidating part for me, Amir, is that Billy sold by phone, ladies and gentlemen, 115 million copies of that workout. So I'm the new guy, right? I need to beat that. So I said, man, do I need support? And so I did a few tests. In the beginning, we wanted to buy 1,000 headsets, and we hit a few manufacturers, and nobody was answering. And then we hit PICO, and boom, they answered. So first green light, these guys are going to listen, they're going to help. Second, deployment. We didn't mention that, but I'm sure you all feel the same way. You take a USB drive, you plug it in your PICO, you load an app, easy. I download from my phone, load the key, plug it in, I'm good to go. That's not the same case with other providers that make it much more complicated. So for us, we were working with the government as well. We needed to tap into their network, share some content, keep it secure and everything. It was just a better device. So yes, great support from the team, but also great device. Well balanced for fitness with the battery pack in the back. I mean, Amir, it's a love story.
It is. And if you guys haven't met Billy, he was at our booth today. And he'll be back tomorrow?
Yeah,
he'll be back tomorrow. It's really fun to see people's reaction because they come in to talk about PICO or they want to meet somebody from the team, and then they're like, "Is that Billy Blanks?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that is." Like, actually, it is. It's probably not where they expected to run into Billy Blanks for the first time in their life, but he's here at AWE. We have our own celebrity beyond these three gentlemen at our booth, and so it's a great opportunity to come and try this out. So, Mickael, talk a little bit more about, people look at fitness, they're like, oh, cool, it's consumer, right? Yeah. But you touched on it briefly. As I feel like we're at this stage right now in the enterprise space where more and more organizations, as they've tested, approved, enabled, and started to scale VR hardware, they're thinking, what else can we do with the headset, right? Maybe they bought it for one solution to train employees, or they bought it for another solution to onboard people. But they're like, man, we have these amazing pieces of technology. What else can we do with it, right? How can we make our headsets more like a MacBook or an iPhone or a Windows PC, whatever that is, so we can start to do more with it? And I feel like that's where solutions like this Tybo reboot come into play for organizations, right?
Right. As those who are close to me know, I have a strange life that took me many places. And so one time I was working with a Catholic nun. You don't know where I'm going with that?
I don't know where you're going with this, actually.
And I was talking about work-life balance, and she said, what is that? That's bollocks. What is that work-life balance? You don't have two lives, you have one. So stop trying to balance things, integrate. And I was, that makes sense. So that's exactly what happens in the workplace now. We work hard, long weeks, we neglect parts of our lives. Why not integrate it? Why not work out at work? Why not make it part of our normal daily routine? And I think that employers are starting to get that. And it just creates a better experience and much less depression in society as well. So think of it at the scale of a nation. You know, a fit nation is a productive nation. It's a good economy, and it's a much better instrument to accomplish whatever goals we have for our nation in the world. So no, I mean, I've been in, you know, this is my 7th company, XPR. It's probably the funnest I've ever been involved with. So I called it my swan song, where I'm doing every fantasy I always wanted to do, going big around the world and stuff. And I needed meaning, and this is meaningful for workers. It is meaningful for kids. Our youngest client, Amir, was 2 years old. Our oldest was 80 years old. The 2 years old I was holding like that, and he was whacking stuff, you know, doing his Thai bow. So it's just a universal product. Love it. Love the support we get from you guys, and I hope we go very, very far with it.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mickael. So, I mean, listen, the conversation here really kind of ties back to the relationship, right? We are not experts at PICO and fitness. We partner with the people who are, right? We are not experts in corporate training, AI, you know, development, deployment. We work with Verti to accomplish that. We are not the experts in classroom curriculum, STEM content, all those sorts of things. We choose to partner with Prisms to accomplish that. And that's really kind of the message and the culture of PICO is we're not trying to go out and do everything first party. We don't need to. We'd rather partner with the people who know this stuff best, who live this world, who live this life, who put their time and lives and passion into developing amazing things. Same thing with, you know, the partnerships we have in the MDM space, the partnerships we have in hand tracking, eye tracking, those sorts of things. We like to be the glue that brings these solutions together and deploys, you know, winning outcomes for organizations, for individuals as well. Listen, with that said, I don't have much else to share here. What I will say is we're at booth 517. Right on the main showroom floor. We'd love to have you guys come and try out all of these different solution partners and what they've developed and the amazing stuff, and talk to them, hear about what they're working on, hear about where their companies are going and how they're partnering and deploying with PICO. You know, come by, hang out, you know, chat with us, meet more of the team, our sales organization, our operations leader, marketing, technical services, everyone is here from PICO at our booth, and we'd love to see you. So guys, thanks for showing up and spending a few minutes of your time here listening to us talk. We're excited to speak to you more here after the presentation is over. So thanks, everybody.